turn to you, Erin. Can we just touch once more before we go into the next lap? The idea of it being a meditation on the nature of theatre itself.
Absolutely. I mean, I think for me, one of the things that's really interesting about the play is it's about exploration in so many different ways. So it's about the exploration of the geographic world. It's also about the exploration of metaphysics, of nature, of art, and also exploration of what you can do with artful language, artful theatre. One of the words that comes up quite a lot in the play is the word brave. So one of the most famous lines is Miranda saying, "Oh, brave new world has such people in it." But we get brave a lot. Miranda initially describes Ferdinand as a brave form. Ariel is commended for bravely acting as a harpy. I think that bravery, it's also noticeable because it's not a play in which we have lots of battle scenes where brave would be a kind of the courageous man going to battle. It's brave in the sense of spectacular, of wonderful, and of fearless. And I think that in that way, it kind of brings together these different kinds of exploration, and theatre as an exploration of human experience and also human potential is very much part of this play.
Have you ever wondered that there are 34 pages of... Have you ever wondered what it looks like inside one of these 400-year-old Bibles? Now, this just isn't any 400-year-old Bible. This is the most printed book in the history of the world. This is a first edition King James Bible. Come take a look over my shoulder and I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, here is the beginning of the Bible, the Old Testament. And then if we go further back, we can see that the Apocrypha is part of the King James Bible. And here is the New Testament title page. You can see 1611 printed in London. And then we go to the New Testament. You can see the last book, Revelation of St. John the Divine. Let's go back to the very beginning. There are a few things in here that are before, like the genealogies. Did you know that there are 34 pages of genealogies that start out God, Adam, Eve, Cain, Abel, Seth. And then it goes over to Noah's Ark, Tower of Babel. And then if we go 34 pages later, Joseph by law, Marie by nature. And so that is what it looks like inside of a first edition King James Bible. Have you ever...
Horse and carriage, Dad was told by Mother, you can't have one, you can't have none.
Happy Thursday. So, Aldous Huxley has been a favorite of mine for a long time. And so the quote from The Tempest, the Brave New World quote, is exciting. But also, I want to do some more work on this to figure out parallels, because I would bet that there are some. That Huxley also was doing something with Shakespeare when he wrote Island, his last piece of work, and also having to do with a certain kind of magic. So that's very interesting to me. Happy Thursday.
I'd like you to imagine this version of you.
So in this conversation last night, I'm observing John Van Donk lead the conversation, and after about 20 or 30 minutes of talking, when we've done a round or two around the table, he'll step back and he'll go, all right, so what's the angel in the room here? Does anybody spot the angel? And he's inviting us to contextualize try and pull everybody's theme into a big context, because that's the spirit of the conversation. And it occurred to me last night, it's like, John, you're talking about literal angels, aren't you? And he's like, he's a minister. He's a Reformed Christian minister. And he's like, yeah, I am. Holy shit. We're talking about technical, real angels. I was thinking about, I think it's a story by Viktor Frankl, and he says that one time in the concentration camps, a case of lipsticks was accidentally delivered, and it made it into the hands of the were like delighted. They started Happy Sunday. So I'm trying to figure out what Shakespeare is trying to say to us when Prospero is giving up his art, because I'm pretty sure you don't get away from the science of love. You don't get away from operating in the world magically. It's there. And King James, I'm going to read this. I'm pretty sure you can't get away from angelology/demonology. That's what we do here. Okay? No, down. And so I think Prospero is getting away from black magic, the Sycorax personal magic where you focus on your will. He's going to keep doing white magic. So we're talking about Peter and Aeneas here. And what Peter meant to say to Aeneas was, Jesus Christ really wants to heal you. Jesus has sent me to you in order that I might do what he has said to me. As far as I'm concerned, I'm doubly happy to be able to be at one and the same time, to serve my master and to heal you, my dear brother Aeneas.
Want to change the world? Start off by making your bed. If you make your bed every morning, you will have accomplished the first task of the day, and it will encourage you to do another task. Making your bed will also reinforce the fact that the little things in life matter. If you can't do the little things right, you'll never be able to do the big things right. I've been a Navy SEAL for 36 years. Basic SEAL training, it is 6 months of being constantly harassed by professionally trained warriors who seek to find the weak of mind and body and eliminate them from ever becoming a Navy SEAL. All you have to do to quit is ring the bell, and you no longer have to wake up at 5 o'clock. Ring the bell, and you no longer have to be in the freezing cold swims, and you no longer have to do the runs, the obstacle course, the PT, and you no longer have to endure the hardships of training. If you want to change the world, don't ever, ever ring the bell.
So I'm wondering if they're all connected somehow, right? Remember the Sabbath and keep it holy. Maybe that sets up some sort of like a routine for you and helps you plan into the future. I heard John Vervaeke say one time that I am what I am is a crappy translation, and a better translation is I will be what I will be. I think
it's not bound to time and place. Think of the great story of the Old Testament, the story of the Exodus. Right? Here you have the Israelites, and they are imprisoned. They're imprisoned in the epitome of the Bronze Age world, Egypt. And God comes and liberates them and sets them on a journey towards a future that is promised, the promised land. This God moves through time and space. The God of the Old Testament is the God of the open future. That's why at first he has no name. Because to name something is to locate it, to specify it, to tie it down. And for the longest time, this God has no name. And then, when Moses finally challenges it and he reveals his name, he says, it's badly translated in the older versions of the Bible. It's often translated as I am that I am. But it actually in the Hebrew means I will be what I will be. I am the God of the open future. And you can participate with me in this ongoing creation of the future.
Happy Monday. I'm thinking more about the concentration camps and lipsticks and people painting themselves up to individuate themselves. And I'm thinking about Milan in 1600 being a center for luxury textiles. And I'm thinking about people dressing themselves up to individuate themselves. And I'm thinking about people that do that with like high-end brands today. And I'm thinking about MySpace and Facebook and Instagram and content creation and dressing yourself up like that. But then I'm also thinking about, even if you have someone over for dinner, maybe you're going to make them some vegetables you grew in your garden. You're going to tell them about the technique that you used to grow them, or the technique to prepare them or something. And it seems like these technologies are using us like the human beings might be sex organs for technologies. Happy Monday.
Elon Musk is requiring federal workers to reply to an email, and they aren't happy about it. 2.3 million government employees checking their email today will be staring down a message from the U.S. Office of Personnel Management asking them to share 5 bullet points detailing what they accomplished in the last week.
You say that is you have to prioritize. Well, there's no difference between priority and value.
Yes.
So another way of thinking about a narrative, when you go to a movie, you watch the protagonist, what you are embodying is your observation of the protagonist's structure of value. You're incorporating that. You match his emotions because you match his aims. And so when we're storytelling, what we're doing is we're exchanging information about the substrata within which rationality has no choice but to operate. See, because so the metaphysics of the Enlightenment. Goddamn son of a bitch.
Great balls of fire.